You walk into the bedroom of the apartment you share with your boyfriend of 3 years, finding him in bed with your stepsister. At first, the fallout feels predictable. Tears are shed, he moves out, and your sister goes silent. You assume she's finally giving you the space you need to process the collapse of your life. But the silence wasn't about remorse. Last week, she called you to a restaurant to deliver a polite courtesy. She and your ex are officially in love, and they wanted you to know before they started posting their new life all over social media. You walk out of that restaurant in disgust, leaving her at the table. Minutes later, a notification hits your phone. It's a Venmo request from your sister, asking you to pay for your portion of the coffee she just used to ambush you. When you refuse, your parents step in. They summon you to their house, not to offer support, but to express how disappointed they are that you aren't more accepting of your sister's new relationship. They argue that because your sister had cancer as a teenager, she never learned proper social etiquette. In their minds, sleeping with your live-in partner is simply a misunderstanding of social norms, a symptom of a stunted upbringing rather than a choice. The parents' stance ignores the gravity of the betrayal to focus entirely on a decade-old diagnosis, treating a history of illness as if it provides a permanent exemption from basic human decency. This dynamic didn't appear out of nowhere. You were a blended family that grew up extremely close, siblings in every sense of the word since you were toddlers. Everything changed when your sister was diagnosed with cancer at 14. For the next 2 years, the family's survival was the only priority, and the rules for everyone else were rewritten. Looking at this ledger of sacrifices, the cost of those years becomes clear. Your teen years were defined by subtractions, quitting your extracurriculars and taking a job just to ensure your income could cover her mounting medical bills. You became her mandatory chauffeur for every appointment. Your own social life was effectively banned. You couldn't attend dances or see friends unless your sister was included in the plans. The most painful entry on that ledger was the high school volleyball team. You were forced to walk away from the one thing you loved, simply because it didn't serve the family's new focus. When you finally broke down over that loss, there was no sympathy. Your parents punished you immediately, deciding that having even one emotional reaction to the erasure of your life was a failure of character. Those years established a dangerous pattern. The family came to believe that your identity, your money, and your happiness were assets to be liquidated whenever your sister needed them. Eventually, the medical crisis passed. Your sister made a full physical recovery, and the immediate danger was over. But your parents' overprotectiveness didn't end with the recovery. Instead, it evolved into a permanent shield, designed to protect her from any form of accountability or personal friction. When comparing etiquette to empathy, the parental logic falls apart. Social etiquette is about superficial rules, like knowing which fork to use. Moral empathy is the internal compass that prevents someone from inflicting trauma on the people they love. Hiding a long-term affair with a sibling's partner in a shared apartment isn't a social faux pas. It requires deliberate, sustained deception, which proves your sister has a very high-functioning awareness of social dynamics, even if she uses them for malice. The social etiquette sense is just a way for your parents to avoid the truth. Your sister doesn't lack social skills because of her illness. She lacks boundaries because a decade of enabling has taught her that she is the only person in the family whose feelings matter. Now your parents have reached their final demand. You must support this relationship because your sister apparently has a hard time meeting people due to her past. The math of that demand is staggering. They are asking you to swallow the betrayal of your home and your relationship just to save your sister the minor effort of dating a stranger. Surviving cancer is a profound triumph, but it is not a permit for cruelty. A medical history doesn't erase the capacity for empathy, nor does it grant someone the right to destroy the person who helped save them. There is a limit to the grace a person can be expected to give. Past trauma cannot be used as an infinite, interest-free loan to fund future abuse against your own family. When family members use a past tragedy to demand that you erase your own future, the only proper etiquette left is to walk away.